Alright, God bless you guys out there today. Today is February the 24th. Welcome to T. Michael's House of Faith. Our goal is to build a trustworthy foundation in the Lord Jesus our God, helping each other fight the conscience mind as well as taking on other people's burdens by being supportive and comforting one another. The Lord is our author. We are non-professional. This is for educational purposes and not therapy. T. Michael's House of Faith does not associate with money. It is supported by the Lord Jesus our God, and no contributions are necessary. Seeking wisdom from above. Hebrews 8:10. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me from least to greatest. Romans 12:7. Or ministry. Let us wait on our ministering, or he that teaches on teaching. 1 John 2:27. But as for you, let the anointing that you have received from him abide in you, and so you have no need for anyone to teach you. For his anointing teaches you about everything, and it is truth, and it is not a lie. And it, just as his anointing taught you, abide in him. James 1:5. But if anyone among you is in need of wisdom, let him petition God, who gives abundantly to all without reproach, and it shall be given to him. Matthew chapter 7, verse 7 and 8. Ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and whosoever seeks finds, and anyone who knocks it will be open. And of course, by knocking is by praying, and asking is asking for the wisdom. Okay, so we got a few videos to go through. I can only put 2 on my computer. The other couple will have to watch off the TV here. And we're still working on the narcissists, who they are, where they come from. That's what we're getting down into here. And I guess maybe I could read over because remember, Satan has seven spirits, 7 wicked spirits, which is kind of interesting. We got a communion narcissist. They make a show of being generous or helpful to gain admiration. Ugh. Covert narcissists. They frequently cast themselves as the misunderstood, mistreated, or unappreciated party to gain sympathy. Then you have your overt narcissists. Are loud, arrogant, and openly demanding of admiration. Covert narcissists are okay, that's just explaining the difference between the two. Classic narcissists. A deep ingrained sense of self-importance, believing they are superior to others and deserve a special treatment. A Machiavellian narcissist combines narcissism, antisocial personality, and sadism. Then you got your psychopath, and then your Machiavellian, which is personality trait characterized by manipulation, cold detachment, a cynical worldview, and strategic goals or attain focus on a personal power or gain. And of course, you know your psychopath. They lack empathy, remorse, present antisocial behavior, and they are bold. So that's what we're looking at. And there's 7 of them there. And then you got your triad, your evil triads, what they call it, where they're kind of put together, which would pretty much be Satan himself. This is Woody Harrelson, and he speaks about Trump here. And this is only a minute and a half here. Let me see if we can get the volume up on this.
Having to protect Donald Trump right now, that just wouldn't sit well. No, you would have a very big job right now to do.
Yeah, I'd be wanting to slip him some cyanide instead of jumping in front of a bullet. I shouldn't say these things.
You should not be saying these
Okay,
things.
I guess,
No.
well, it's out there.
If there's one thing about Woody, he's honest. To be clear, the clip of Harrelson going over the dinner story was so bad that at the time he claimed he had to go step outside and smoke a J. Here it was in further detail. Speaking with Esquire, Harrelson said, so we all met at Trump Tower, sat down, Melania was there, only she wasn't his wife yet. And it was, let me tell you, a brutal dinner, 2.5 hours. Fun part was watching Jesse's movies, he would continue. Now, at a fair table with 4 people, each person is entitled to 25% of the conversation, right? I'd say Melania got about 0.1%, maybe. I got about 1%. And the governor, Jesse, he got about 3%. Trump took the rest. It got so bad, I had to go outside and burn one before returning to the monologue monopoly. Woody would go on to say, listen, I came up through Hollywood, so I've seen Narcissists. This guy was beyond. It blew my mind. He did say one thing.
Okay. I'll try to take up the TV. That's what we want to look at here. Woody said, I came up through Hollywood, so I've seen Narcissists. This guy was beyond. So he's stating how bad Trump really is. He sits there and it has to be all about him. It's all about Trump. Okay, in our next video, let's see if I go here. This here is gonna be about where they come from. Dumb commercials. It doesn't say exactly where they come from. Oh, I want to start that at 550. This is just pretty much, he's talking about Dave Chappelle, and Dave Chappelle pointed out that these people, they all come from one area, and that's what we'll get into is where they come from. But that's your group of narcissists. They're filmmakers, they're actresses, they're they're anybody they can be, politicians, anywhere, CEOs, whatever is at the top, so they can have people underneath them. That's where they gotta be. But let's listen to this here. This is only a minute or so.
And then not only that, what I saw was nobody cares because there's a billion people they're gonna put to the forefront to become a star, and I watch it over and over, and I go, oh, I hope this one's gonna be all right. They got this one. It's only a matter of time before we see something with this one. And I saw how they become drug addicts, and no one cares. Just get the job done. Let us get our money, and we don't care if you kill yourself.
Thanks.
We don't care if you OD.
Thanks.
We don't care. I collected my 10. He collected his 20. He collected his $1 billion.
Yep.
And that was one of the most, I will use the word, and I try not to cry, traumatizing things I ever witnessed in my human existence. It was traumatizing. And that's when I started seeing, like, well.
And imagine, Jim, you started at the age you did. Imagine these people that started at Nickelodeon and in Disney at age 5, 6, 7.
And what I would see, Sasha, is the children that would come into SNL as just extras.
Yeah.
And their parents.
What parents? Yeah.
But I see it. Their parents, but even our society makes you think that's that is where you want to be.
Yep.
And here's my child. I don't care if I'm not around them. Sure, take their shirt off.
Yeah.
Put them in a sexy outfit.
Right.
Give them whatever drugs they need to learn the lines, so I can be part of this.
Exactly.
I'm now important.
Exactly.
And that was horrifying to witness and just see with my own 2 eyes. The little kid getting groomed and his hair's cut a little, and the little kid talking and speaking a certain way so he could be. It was, bro. It was. So that was and I gotta say, Dave Chappelle, the Dave Chappelle I knew,
Right.
he was an incredible mentor and human being to be around. Because when we started filming Half Baked, what I learned more was not the movie and all that. That's nothing. The long conversations and deep spiritual, who controls the world? Why are agents in the industry called agents?
Right.
And why are they all from a certain descent? Why? And there's nothing wrong. There were just questions like, that is interesting.
So right there, he's saying they all come from one spot. And which is true, they all come from Canada and from the UK is where they all come from. And if you look, all your movie stars, they all got blue eyes. And that's a European trade, is their blue eyes. And now not everybody that has blue eyes is a narcissist or is in the movie set or anything like that. But if you notice the trend, all your publicans or your CEOs, all the higher up people, they all have blue eyes. And we'll get more into this, but what I think it is, and this could have been 1,000 years ago, who knows, it's just my assumption that France took a bunch of their people and put them in the UK on an island, and now they overtook like that island, and now they're kind of like the rebellions. That's their army, and they raise them up to be hypocrites. And top of the line hypocrites at that too. So now they can put them out into your country. Now they come up into your country and pull you apart. And we'll get into that later too, because they did this to China in the 1930s. They went into China from the inside and started pulling things apart, taking all their money and wealth away from them, and China just became poor and broke. And that's when Japan in the 1940s came in and stomped on China and overthrew China. They did this with Israel as well. I'll show documentations of that probably in the next video. My next video that it was the British, the Arabs, and the Palestinians in the late 1800s. From 1878 to 1948, the British had the Jews captive under their control until 1948 when America put it into everything there. So we'll get into more of that too. But we got some other videos here too we'll take a look at, which are a little more lengthy here. Let's see here. I don't know which one to do first. I guess maybe we'll do the criminals who bought Trump out here. And this is pretty neat how Trump turned everything in for him for his financial gain and stuff, and how he powers drug dealers. And you see what's happening now in Mexico. There's a couple of things about that. One, we're about to overtake Mexico, so we need some kind of commotion to go in there and say, oh, Mexico can't run their own, so we have to do it for them. The other one is, if the cartels ain't willing to pay Trump, then he's going to get his money out of them somehow, because Trump's all about money. And you'll see this, how China and some other people actually paid Trump to get Queen, for they didn't get imprisoned and stuff like that. So this one, we'll start off here. And this is going to be... Where is it? About almost 8 minutes. So we'll get going on this here.
The USD1 token is pretty much the same as any other stablecoin, but the main key critical difference here is that this one is attached to the president and the first family. The question we should be asking with USD1 is, why are people using this? Why do people want to use a token issued by the president rather than real money?
Let me explain with these different boxes. Imagine this is the US's traditional financial system. And let's say I want to send this money to a business to buy something, and maybe said business is located in another country. In order to do so, I have to put my money in this box, and away it goes. At each stop, the money is inspected. Its origin and destination is checked. Officials will verify that the money complies with the law. Anti-money laundering, sanctions compliance, conflicts of interest, know your customer, tax law. There are a lot of stops on the way. It's slow, but these protections are important. By the time the money arrives at its destination, we know a lot about it. Their relatively slow speed is a feature, it's not a bug. Now imagine this is the system created by World Liberty Financial. Someone decides to send money, real dollars, to buy some of the company's crypto tokens. The money goes in. Because there's essentially no regulation, nobody really knows where it came from, who sent it, or where it's going. The box skips all of these stops and avoids all of these regulations. Money laundering? Sanctions? Not a concern here. At the end of this nonstop journey, which can be much faster than what we see in traditional finance, I have WLF tokens or USD1 tokens that I can use like digital dollars. I can send them anywhere, even a crypto wallet owned by the first family. And unlike the traditional process involving the US dollar, this crypto transaction generates money. Any money exchanged for USD1 is held by World Liberty Financial, which they then get to invest in things like short-term treasury bonds, which generates income for the Trump family. So critically, when people use this parallel system, it makes the president and his family richer, a lot richer. And it's all made legal by legislation like the Genius Act, passed by Trump and his party with an assist from some prominent Democrats. Welcome to the corruption economy. You can now buy influence with the president at speeds you wouldn't believe without any kind of permission. Just buy this token. So you've brought us some examples, some egregious cases of people putting money in the black box.
So earlier this year, an Emirati company called MGX, which is affiliated with the government there, part of the Sovereign Wealth Fund, decided it wanted to invest $2 billion in Binance. Instead of just sending $2 billion to Binance, the UAE and this prince named Sheikh Tahnoon, who's a member of the royal family, decided to involve World Liberty Financial. So what they did was they sent $2 billion to World Liberty Financial. In return, they got $2 billion worth of USD1 stablecoins. This is the USD1 stablecoin that was originally created by Binance. Then they take that $2 billion worth of USD1 coins, they send that to Binance, and now MGX, or the Emirati government, owns a $2 billion share in Binance. Right after this major investment in May, the administration gave the UAE access to highly advanced AI chips from the US. There was an SEC case against Binance that gets dropped, and seemingly all the legal issues facing Binance here in the US and in some other parts of the world start to go away. And finally, CZ had been publicly asking for a pardon for months, and he finally got that. He was pardoned by Trump despite pleading guilty to financial crimes and spending 4 months in federal prison. And let's not forget, Steve Witkoff, a founder of World Liberty Financial, helped broker this deal. Steve Witkoff is playing a dual role in that he is both Trump's top diplomatic envoy to the Middle East. He's negotiating a lot of these deals. As of his last financial disclosure, Witkoff still had an ownership interest in World Liberty, where, let me remind you, his 2 sons also work. So he is potentially directly profiting off of these both diplomatic and crypto deals.
Steve Witkoff is using the government to make these deals, and then he's profiting from the deals directly. That sounds like a quid pro quo.
If it's not a quid pro quo, I don't know what one is. Then we've got Justin Sun. Justin Sun is a very colorful, almost notorious crypto entrepreneur.
Hi, I'm Justin Sun. I'm flowing in the space.
Who has been involved in a lot of projects. His most notable one is called the Tron blockchain, which is widely used for money laundering in the criminal underworld. Sun has been in a lot of trouble with the SEC for a long time, charged with fraud and market manipulation. He recently stuffed $75 million into the black box, specifically buying the WLF token. And this really helped give an early start to World Liberty Financial when a lot of people were skeptical of the company and not buying its token. He starts becoming friendly with Trump's sons. He's named an advisor to the business. He's not just investing in the business or buying their tokens. He's actually basically on the masthead. He's part of the company now, working with them closely.
So what does Justin Sun get out of this relationship?
He gets potential financial benefits and the ear of the president and his sons, but more importantly, there was a multi-billion-dollar fraud case brought by the SEC against Justin Sun. And after this relationship forms between Sun and World Liberty Financial, that case gets thrown out. There's sort of a rogues gallery of strange and potentially criminal people surrounding World Liberty Financial, some of whom have given them tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars, and we don't know a lot about them. One of them is a company called Aqua One Foundation, which appeared at the beginning of the summer announcing a $100 million deal with World Liberty Financial. And we know that they sent $100 million worth of stablecoins to World Liberty Financial, but beyond that, they don't really seem to exist. I've looked into them, and there was also a Reuters investigation. And the best that we can find is that they're run by two guys from China who used to be involved with a company called Web3 Port. This was another crypto company that was accused of market manipulation and various scams. They claim to be based in the United Arab Emirates. There are no corporate records that a company called Aqua One Foundation even exists in the UAE. But apparently these two Chinese businessmen, one who seems to work for a Chinese state energy company and one who's being investigated for financial crimes in England, were able to send $100 million to the president. And we don't know what they want, what they expect in return, or even where that money might have come from, but they definitely sent it.
The key innovation here isn't any kind of improvement on the financial system. World Liberty Financial looks pretty much like any other crypto company out there. The innovation is now anyone, anywhere in the world, at any time, has a way to buy influence with the President of the United States. Permissionless, mostly untrackable, with plausible deniability. It's not an exaggeration to say that this system could make Donald Trump the richest man in the world in a few short years. Meanwhile, the tough-on-crime president is associating with some of the biggest criminals in the world. ICIJ investigations have found Binance repeatedly helped transfer money for accounts associated with Chinese crime gangs and the Mexican Sinaloa cartel. And that's exactly why money normally moves slowly through the global economy. We need to know where this money is coming from, how it was made, and who we're doing business with. Anything less is just increasing the speed of corruption.
Alright, so there we have it. And that, they said China is dealing with the Arabs. And if you know, in 1990, I think it's 91, either 1990 or 91, I believe it was 91, Russia joined alliances with Russia, or China joined alliances with Russia. And they both are like equal now. They're on the same team. And they deal with Iran and Arabia and all those guys. And maybe in my next segment, I'll show you how stuff's being taken out of, I shouldn't say stuff, but certain things are being transported out of America into Russia and from Russia over to Iran. Now they say, well, it's probably like F-35 parts or something like that, or they're trying to go nuclear. Well, no. There's, I'll show you a bit of that, because they don't come out and say anything about it. They just kind of show things. You got to kind of put them together. And there's one congressman that's getting threatened by Trump. And, I think it's 2011, he said. His wife was actually shot. And, she survived that. But, he's getting, assassinations, threats from Trump. And Trump even said, hang him. And that's one of the things that keep coming out of Trump's mouth is hang him. Hang him. Well, who hangs anybody? It's Iran's hanging people. And I'm telling you right now, they don't hang their own people because it's in their corn. If you read the book of Corn, it tells you is someone that loves Allah. They're all the same. They're brothers and sisters under Allah. And that would be murder. But if you don't believe in Allah, they have every right to kill you. So, that's all that. But we'll be getting more into this and going deeper and show you Well, I mean, I'd say why they come to America, but it's obvious that they're overtaking America because once they take America, now they have control of the whole entire world, and everybody will be underneath them, and that's what they want. And like Musk is so evil. I mean, he took AI and he took control of it. Then he started making the image of himself of these robots. Now they're the image of man. They have man's wisdom in it, and now he's like a god, and he's gonna control this world. I mean, he's gonna have his, I guess you could say, army replace Americans and the Spanish. The Spanish are only here temporarily, so everybody's gonna get replaced with all these robots, and everybody sees that's coming. That's what COVID, like the Godfather of AI, he said, you know, I have a. He didn't come out and say this is exactly what Musk did, but he pointed out this is what you would do. And he said first you'd use AI to create a disease or a virus. That's COVID. He said then you would use AI to corrupt the election. And after Trump got voted in, Musk came out so excited, like he got his way, and he did. So we'll be getting deeper into this, and we'll narrow it down. And we still got to get into some biblical, look at it biblically, and what Jesus did back in the day to fight hypocrites. Trying to think some of the verses like Matthew 8:44. He said, "Your father is of the devil." When he's calling the Pharisees and stuff out, he said, "Your father is the devil." So we'll get into all that. We're running out of time here. It's almost 27 minutes into it now. But God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. Don't fear, because like they say, if you fear it, it will happen. So you don't want to fear nothing, because it will happen, and you know that. You know, if you fear losing your job, oh, I'm not doing a good job, oh, the boss is really looking down on me, oh, and he's really started getting worried about it. Well, within 3 months, you're out. You're looking for a new job. If you're worried about your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and you know they're cheating on me, oh, they're gonna break up with me 3 months down the line, boom, they're gone. You know, so don't fear it, because if you fear it, it happens. What you want to do is fear God. So we'll get through this, especially if we stay on top and know what's going on. That's the importance of all this, and to know what to do about it, so it doesn't happen to us like it did in Israel. So God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, you know what? I didn't show. That was that. This is the video. Let's play this video real quick. I want to go over this video. I almost forgot about that. This is like 8 minutes, so this is really neat too. This is a whistleblower. He tells you how they do things. How these people can come into America, and so we'll get to this and watch this real quick before we take off here. This is pretty neat.
Our whole lives are out there potentially for someone to see, for someone to use against us. So be careful what you say, be careful what you write, even in jest, because it can be taken out of context to target you.
Auto insurance all seems the same until it's time to use it. With USAA, it's easy to file claims.
And what about digital security? You talked about the fact that it's possible for these forces, and not just the US, but other countries, to be able to hack and crack your devices and see anything on your devices. I think we all go around assuming that our devices are secure.
They're not secure at all. At all. It's not just, NSA, CIA, FBI that you have to worry about. It's the British, the French, the Germans, the Canadians, the Australians, the New Zealanders. the Russians, the Chinese, the Israelis, the Iranians. I mean, everybody has these capabilities. Everybody. So you've got to be very, very careful.
Capabilities to do what?
To intercept communications.
I've heard you say that they can hack car systems. They could theoretically hack into my car.
Yes, we know that from WikiLeaks. There was something in 2017 called the Vault 7 revelations. There was a CIA software engineer who was disgruntled. And instead of going to the Russians or the Chinese, he went to WikiLeaks. And he downloaded thousands, tens of thousands of pages of documents classified above top secret. And they became what WikiLeaks called the Vault 7 documents. So they included things like the CIA, for example, will hack into, let's say, the Iranian Ministry of Interior computer system. But they'll leave little electronic clues, all written in Cyrillic.
Cyrillic is what?
The Cyrillic is the alphabet, the Russian alphabet.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Or they can take control of your smart TV remotely, and they can make the speaker turn into a microphone. So even though the TV is off, it can still hear everything that's being said in the room and broadcast back to the CIA.
Can they do that
Ingenious.
with devices? Do they?
Oh, they could do that. When I first got hired, they were able to do that.
So they could be doing that right now with my
totally.
My iPad. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. That's old technology. And then the thing about the car, this was revelatory. They can take control, again, remotely, of a car's computer system in order to, in order to kill you.
Crash the car.
Crash the car, take it off a bridge, take it into a tree. Sure.
I've heard you talk about sleeper agents before.
Yes.
What is a sleeper agent?
Yeah, the Russians are very good with sleeper agents. We Americans don't have, no other country that we know of uses sleeper agents. A sleeper agent is someone who is taken virtually from birth and trained to be of another nationality. For example, let's say you're born in Russia, and from the age of 2, they take you from your family with your family's acquiescence, and they take you to an American-style town that they've built out in the hinterland in Russia. And they teach you to speak English with an American accent. You watch American TV shows, you watch American movies, you eat American food, you get an American-style education. So I have no idea that you're not American. You speak English just like I do. You know all the same, social references that I make. You follow the Philadelphia Eagles, or the, San Francisco 49ers or whatever. And then they send you to the United States with a fake ID. What they'll do is they'll go through, I was born in 1964, so they'll go through death records from 1964 and they'll look for deaths where the person was only a day or two old. And they'll take that name and the birth date, and they'll get a Social Security card with the birth date. And then they'll use the Social Security card to get you a passport, an American passport. So you come here on your American passport, everything's legit. Now your name is, Bob Smith, which was really that baby's name that died. And you get a job, let's say, as a travel agent. And you may work as a travel agent for 20 years and never hear from them. But then they'll activate you and they'll say, we want you to go take care of this target over here.
Kill him.
Yeah. Or we want you to get a job at the Defense Department and give us everything that you can steal. Whatever. There's a woman in my neighborhood who was outed as a sleeper about a year ago. She was an elementary school teacher, and they grabbed her, and they ended up trading her back to the Russians for 2 Americans. So they're out there. I interviewed a sleeper, a former sleeper, on my own podcast a couple of weeks ago. He was from the East German Intelligence Service, and he was raised as an American and sent to New York. He got a job, I forget doing what, like restaurant supply company or something like that. And he got married and he had a daughter. And he told me, as soon as I looked at her face the day she was born, I realized this life wasn't for me anymore. So they sent him an activation. What they do is they'll send you a radio message, and he didn't respond to it. And he told me he was on the subway one day. He's just standing there holding the strap. And this guy came up to him, and the guy grabs the strap next to him and whispers in his ear, "If you don't report back, I have to kill you." And so he ran straight to the FBI field office in New York. And he said, "I'm an East German sleeper, and I want to turn myself in." And he became a prolific source for the FBI.
So he was taken as a young person.
Yes.
What was his story?
Yeah, taken as a young person, sent to Russia to become American. Mm-hmm. They set him up with this phony identity. Mm-hmm. And then after he had gone through all the training, he came over here young. He was like 20 or 22 and did this for 25 years. And then he said as soon as his daughter was born, he was like, wow, this is what life is for, not being a sleeper.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, and I'm the CEO of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining us at our...
Do you think the average person listening to this conversation right now is interacting in their life at this exact moment in time with someone who is involved in espionage, spying, the CIA, or some international equivalent?
Probably not. Because they're mostly focused. Foreign intelligence officers are going to be spread out all over America. If a listener of this podcast is working in a defense company, a defense contractor, anywhere in America, then my answer is yes. Yes, you're probably encountering espionage of some sort or somebody committing espionage, whether it's Russian, Chinese, or Israeli. They're the three biggest ones that go after us. In Washington, I mean, foreign spies, there could be as many as 10,000 in Washington. I remember my first wife, she was teaching ballet at a small private school, and one of the students there, they were all like 4, 5, and 6 years old. One of the students there, her father was a Belgian diplomat. And so we would sit and talk and, oh, aren't the kids talented? And, oh, this is so much fun. They look so cute in their little tutus. And then I went to work one day, and as I was walking in, he was walking in. And I said, oh, come on, Peter. And he's like, I thought you were a spy. And I said, I actually didn't think you were a spy. And he was just going for a liaison meeting. And we had a good chuckle about it. And I said, listen, don't tell anybody, right? Right, sorry.
So I'm trying to figure out how many spies do you think there are in the United States? If you think about
foreign spies,
domestic spies, people that are basically undercover.
Including Americans, you mean?
Including Americans.
The number of CIA employees is classified. The number of CIA employees undercover is actually even more highly classified. I can give you a guesstimate.
But also, Russia, China.
Yeah, 50 to 60,000 altogether.
50 or 60,000 in the United States. Mm-hmm. So by a couple of degrees of separation, if you know 100 people.
Yeah, you're probably going to know one.
Well, yeah, so if they can do that easy, it's really not hard for them to get people in here and get into our political aspects of things and run our country and overtake our country. I believe the 1940s, when we put an end to Hitler's trying to rule the world, they said, we got to get inside America and get up inside America, and that's basically where we're at today, I believe. So we are out of time, going on 40 minutes already. Thank you for tuning in to T. Michael's House of Faith. God bless you all out there. Stay safe. Until next time, keep the peace.